It's Moon Man time. It's Moon Man time. Moon Man number 10. Numero 10 on the Luna Hombre Listo is none other than, file on in, hit that like button, let's go. Last year's yearbook was fantastic, was it not? Let's get into the Moon Men for 2023. Number 10, coming up after the intro. File on in. True Penguin in the house. Appreciate your help earlier, True Penguin. Let's get to Moon Man number 10.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
It is time. It is where my blue light blocking glasses, your boy Smitty, is to take care of the ojos so they don't get rojos. And we've got numero 10 dropping here in moments. File on in, hit that thumb up button for your boy Smitty as we break down Moon Man number 10. We'll let everybody get in here before we drop it, but this one's exciting. I think you guys are going to like this one. I think the majority of everybody watching will absolutely love it. Kind of fits a theme of what we've been cranking out. I realize that, but there's a method to the madness. And I think that this one will make a lot of you pretty happy. So file on in. We'll open the phone lines after that. See what you guys think of Moon Man number 10, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. If anybody would like to drop a prediction of who they think Moon Man number 10 is, I'm willing to look at these guesses before we jump right into it. Who's first in the building, by the way? Who's first in the building? I'm trying to take care of some behind-the-scenes maintenance real quick. Hold on one second. I gotta select this. Boom, down the list here. This is a Moon Man video. Yes, it is. Moon Man saved. Thank you for your patience on that. All right, what are you guys saying? Who does everybody think it is? Someone says Purdy. No. Mikey in the building. AJ Brown to the moon. JSN. Patience on that one, young Padawan. Space Monsters. Let's go. Moon Man number 10 is none other than, it's following a pattern, ladies and gentlemen. There's rhyme and reason to it. Changing of the guard. It's the way it is. Moon Man number 10. George Pickens.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
George Pickens. I look, we've got another sophomore on the board.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
It really is shocking and something I couldn't have foreseen. The thing is, I don't even know if we can put London on the board because then we got every sophomore wide receiver on it. But it's like, look, guys, I mean, it's not like you can do this with accuracy if it isn't the way it is. You know what I mean? You can't just come out and say all sophomores are on the Moon Men list. This is a crazy group of players. The craziest part about it all, this is going to make Ron happy. The craziest part about this is that every one of these sophomores is essentially not in the best quarterback situation as of this moment. Doesn't mean that doesn't change, but that's how good the group is.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
So, like, you look at Garrett Wilson, I believe his situation changes clearly.
Space Monsters.
For the good. I think Olave's situation could change for the good. I think Pickens and Watson, their situations could certainly change for the better or worse. I mean, Watson going from A-Rod to Love probably isn't the most exciting thing, but I think it could work out better than a lot of people think. Pickens, a lot of people doubt Pickett, but we'll see if he progresses enough. I think he will to unleash enough havoc in the direction of George Pickens. Here are the numbers for Pickens last year, if anybody is curious, and they know he did good, but maybe they didn't own him, so they didn't quite have a handle on what he was doing. 801 yards, 52 receptions, 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 24 rushing yards. It was a good year considering, he almost didn't get vaulted into, amazing opportunities until, Pickett got in there. Pickett to Pickens. We joked about it all offseason. But more importantly, we've got this little number here. We talked about this in the offseason, and there are a lot of people that clowned on the concept of this guy being the number one wide receiver his rookie year, being the top dog, exiting 2022 with a clear, this is the number one wide receiver in Pittsburgh. So many people clowned on this take when I dropped it on RG. I'm going to show it to you right now. Here it is.
Best wide receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is George Pickens.
Now, this was in before week 1. So look at this. Pickens is going to be a beast. I'm going to be seeking cred for this, says What the Crap Man. Facts. A couple of people agreeing, obviously. This year's Callaway, making fun of the Callaway prediction. Deontay exists somewhere. Give him some some expletive respect. He doesn't know how to control his emotions. Let's go. I said this last week, whatever. Young boy says, okay, hold on. It's going too quick. Let me pause it here. Come on, man. What's this guy saying? Come on, man. Pretty bold take. Wait. I got to go back on that one. Come on, man. I'm trying to pause it. Hold on. I gotta pause this. There we go. Come on, man. That's a pretty bold take. I'm staying away from wide receivers and Steeler wide receivers. What did I say in response? Come on, man. Until they aren't, bro. He's not a wide receiver one, Smitty. You know who Deontay Johnson is. Got a lot of Deontay Johnson. Like Smitty, Mike Clay just dropped his picks each round. He's watching you. Claypool punching the air. You're getting closer to using a Beetlejuice meme. Chad. Congrats, Chad. It's impossible for the amount of rookies you're hyping to produce. Oh, yeah? How did that happen? How did that work out? Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker. I think our rookies did pretty good, Shawnee boy. Shawnee Sullivan. Someone is definitely on the hype train. He's not a separator. Okay. We'll see, Lion81. Pickens season. Joey knows what time it is. Who is your top 5 redraft players? I obviously didn't answer you, Slasher. I apologize. K. Will. Looks like we got another creeping on the bottom corner of the Moon Man list next episode, says K. Will. Lame, says Yippee. Yippee Kaye says, lame, it's preseason. Okay, Yippee. Mark Cleveland loves it. Toe, tappy, tap, tap, says James. Quiet, please. Junes wants us to be quiet about it. Put him on the rocket ship. Hate the way you hype preseason like this. Degrades the quality of your channel. Dear Smitty, this is Lenny Mac. Hate the way you hype preseason like this. As if I don't know the difference between preseason hype and, hey, this is a sign of things to come. But that's okay, Lenny. Obviously, you don't like me very much. But Lenny says, hate the way you hype preseason like this. Degrades the quality of your channel. What did I say in response? You could be wrong, and I could be wrong. You could be wrong, and I actually like a player, and the bold call could be right. Do you know what is going to happen? ? Sorry, it's hard for me to read on the screen because it's very far away and small on my screen right now. I don't think he outscores Pickens, but I do think he ruins Deontay Johnson's upside. So anyway, I just thought it was fun to reflect back on the reason I went to that post is because there was so much negativity. That wasn't all of it. I just stopped. It was a long post, but there's so much negativity on how on earth could I possibly not like Deontay Johnson? Am I blind? Deontay's a top 5 wide receiver, Smitty. You should go look at that post on Instagram. It's back in before week 1. It's 24, 25, 20, or no, 26 weeks ago, something like that. It's just amazing the closed-mindedness people have, like as if Deontay is the be-all, end-all of wide receivers. It's absolutely hilarious to look through those. Ron Navy dropping a wad, I believe, on screen. Why can't I see the super chat by Ron? I see it there it is. My comments were a little delayed there, but Ron dropping a $10 hauler.
To the moon.
All $10 haulers get a moonshot. Appreciate you, Ron. I knew Ron would be happy about this one. I think he's been waiting for this one for a while. And Ron, make sure you understand this. Just because he was 10 doesn't mean he's the 10th ranked at the end of the day. Number 5 could be number 1. It's some of the releases about how I'm projecting value to go up, and I want to get the word out to you guys before the values increase. And I wasn't real worried about Pickens' value, increasing. I was more worried about the rookies going up in value as we get really near rookie talk and rookie evaluations in the NFL draft. So I wanted to fully make sure I had all of my rookies. And there's still a rookie wide receiver that might crack the board. I know a lot of you are waiting for him. Hang tight. But I wanted to get all the rookie running backs on the Moonman list before we had any hype going on them. And so people knew that the show was singling out 4 RBs. And these 4 are the guys.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
It is Charbonnet, and everybody's going to get on the train very soon.
Space Monsters.
Now, everybody has Bijan and Gibbs in the top 2. I mean, that's kind of par for the course, but I have them ranked higher in redraft and dynasty than most people. Bijan's my number 1 overall fantasy football dynasty running back. In a startup draft, he's the number 1 RB off my board. If I go Jamar Chase or Jefferson number 1, that's fine. Or if you do, that's fine. But as an RB, Breece Hall is a close second, or you could say tied for first in some if the wind's blowing a certain way. But Bijan's my number 1 dynasty fantasy football running back, and he is my surprise. I say surprise because I don't want anybody drafting Bijan in the top 5 running backs on draft day, but he's my surprise top 2 running back finisher in redraft. I think he's that good this year. But the two more underrated running backs ranked here are Charbonnet and Tucker. Sean Tucker and Charbonnet in the right spot could be top 10 running backs during their rookie season. You heard me correct. Sean Tucker and Zach Charbonnet, this man right here.
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
This glorious man right here named Zach Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bubbly and spray it all over, is going to turn heads. And he's going to turn heads at the combine. He's going to become everybody's favorite darling rookie running back. There are going to be people that think they're so bold as to say, Smitty, you're wrong. He's the number 1 rookie running back, which I say all the time, he's capable of it. Some guy's going to try and come in here into the chat and act like he's first. I don't know who was that guy that always wanted to be first to everything. No matter what I said, he's like, I said it first. Smitty, I said this when I came out of the womb. Smitty, who was that? Who was that? I forget who that was. I forget what his name was. Ron or not Ron Navy, but Ronnie or something like that. I forget what it was. But he always would come in and be, I should have first, Smitty. I said it before. When you were saying it, I was saying it right before when the intro was loading. I said it when the intro came on. He was constantly doing that. But Zach Charbonnet, it's going to become everybody's darling. And so many people are going to think they thought up that he could be the number 1 running back in the draft class. Just get ready. The hype's going to be huge. Sean Tucker, too. Another Moon Man extraordinaire.
The Moon Men.
Look at him.
Dropping loads
Look at
in
him.
outer space.
Sean Tucker looks about 48 years old. Don't let that fool you.
Space Monsters.
Sean Tucker, I believe, is 21 years old. Don't let Sean Tucker's, hi, I'm a high school teacher, and I've got tenure, fool you. That look he's got there. That's like he's walking into the science lab. This guy is a young 21, 22 year. He's not, I promise you, he's not turning 50 tomorrow. I know you guys think I never pump up older running backs, but this guy at 58 years old is going to drop loads all over the place, Sean Tucker. But Sean Tucker and Charbonnet are going to instantly become favorites. Fan favorites. They're going to love the guys. Both of them. Charbonnet.
Get Charbonnet.
Get
Pop
Charbonnet.
open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
Get Charbonnet. It's going to be amazing. I promise. And Sean, get Sean Tuckered. Get Tucker the trucker is going to just drive all over the field, just steamroll over people. Get Sean Tuckered. that clip coming soon. Actually, Coach Charbonnet says Electro. That's kind of what that guy did. He kind of always say that stuff. Smitty, what do you think of Deuce Vaughn? I'll look more into him, bro. Clearly, I have some rookie stuff to drop, and I'll examine him a little bit more in detail. But you'll hear from me, okay? There's more rookies to come, more rookie content to come, especially the wide receivers are going to be coming. This year's Moon Men is a lot different than last year's. Almost all unproven guys. I think this would be a good dynasty list, not redraft, says I'm him. Let's look at it.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
So,
Space Monsters.
I think maybe you feel this way after the fact, bro. I'm kind of feeling like, who said that? I'm him said that. He said this year, and I'm not trying to call you out, I'm just trying to address this. This year's Moon Men is a lot different than last year's. Almost all unproven guys. I think this would be a good dynasty list, not redraft. That's what I want, bro. This is what I want everybody to think. And if hindsight's 2020 and things look a lot clearer to you right now, bro, let me show you the old Moon Men list. And you tell me how big name these guys are. There's a couple big names, and we're going to have a couple big names. There'll be 2 or 3. But you tell me if I add 2 or 3 more big name players to this list right here, you're telling me that last year's list looked like it was way more loaded with known players? Like, just take a look at the yearbook. So you got Hurts, you got Burrow, Etienne, Bijan, Walker, Hall, Bijan. Those are all very similar, underrated guys. Lamb, St. Brown was super underrated. Pollard, AJ, there are a couple names. I would say there are 4, obviously Hurts was doubted by a lot of people though. Hurts, Burrow, Lamb, and St. Brown was a steal the majority of the early offseason. Then he started to climb. He was a 6th, 7th round guy when we started touting him up. So really Swift, AJB, Lamb, Burrow, those 4 guys. And then Hurts was a 6th, 7th round pick, especially early on. It was like 7th round pick. Joe Burrow was 6th, 7th round pick. So these two Joe Burrow and Hurts look like they're big household names now. Then why were they in the 6th and 7th round? You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, the only guys you could say are huge name players at this point last year that were completely accepted as top 4, top 5 round draft picks when we had them on the list, bro. It wasn't Walker, wasn't Hall. Hall climbed. We started talking up Hall when he was a 5th round player. And Etienne was a 6th and 5th round player. There's nobody on this list that was inside the top 3 rounds but A.J. Brown, Swift, and Lamb. So 3 guys. I think that at the end of the day, bro,
The Moon Men,
this list,
dropping loads in outer space.
at the end of the day, this list will look very similar. And that someone could come in here and say the same thing.
Space Monsters.
And I'm just addressing it. I'm not trying to say you're all that wrong. Yeah, and Electro's 100% correct. Hindsight is so freaking 2020. The hate on Hurts was insane last year. People forget, bro. People forget. Lamb, Amon-Ra, Hurts, AJ Brown, all underrated. They all really were. I don't think this is that crazy. I may drop a Moon Man tomorrow or maybe on Thursday, but it's going to be more of a big name household player. And the other thing to keep in mind, it is him or whoever said that. And again, no hate on your comment. But we're going to have the reason the Moon Man list exists. It's not about big names. Who's going to be the number 1 running back? Who's going to be the number 2 running back? Who's going to be number 5? Like, they're not supposed to be big names, really. They're supposed to be bargains. The moon man list are how you win your league. So if we're to sit here and go, like, Christian McCaffrey's a moon man. He can't be a moon man. You're going to draft him 1 overall, unless I feel like that wins you a league, which, technically speaking, you could say, like, getting the number 1 overall pick helps you win the league. Like, there's an argument to be made there that McCaffrey wins you a league, but I don't think it's helping anybody to put Christian McCaffrey on the moon man list. The moon man list is all about helping you dominate your opponents. And so I really like the way the moon man list is getting put together here. I was hating on Hurts originally. Smitty changed my mind on him. Ron, I was changing your mind on Hurts when I should have been listening to you when you were trying to change my mind on Swift. I was on the yearbook committee. I'm going to be honest right now. I was on the yearbook committee, and I decided before the year began that the most likely to succeed is going to be the guy in the bottom right corner. But I did predict accurately the best couple of the year in Chase and Burrow. So, Swift. I don't even know where to value Swift right now, to be completely honest with you. I feel like Swift completely just destroyed my faith in him. Such a talented guy. And the problem is there's 2 red flags. Two flags on the play. More than 2 flags on the play. Injuries, 1 flag, all on its own. Another flag is, like, can he hold up, even if he's not hurt, can he hold up enough to where he is going to be a full-time running back in the NFL? And number 3, kind of a similar flag. It kind of shares that same flag properties of it or whatever. You could call this one flag. It's the same in a sense. But will the staff believe he's capable of carrying and shouldering the load? So it's like you got injury risk and then you got usage. Because when he came back and he was healthy, they didn't use him. They used Jamal. Now, who knows if that changes? I don't have any kind of lead on that, and no one can. We're not going to hear about that now. Jamal is what's Jamal's contract? Is he a free agent right now? Problem with Jamal, even if let's say he is a free agent, I don't know if he is. Jamal Williams contract. Let's see what Jamal Williams' contract looks like. It looks like Jamal Williams is a unrestricted free agent. So much will depend on what happens with him. But the problem is, who's going to... I don't care about if he led the NFL, in touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. Did he end up finishing first with rushing touchdowns? I believe he still did. I don't care if that happens. You're looking at a running back climate right now with the limited job openings for the RB. Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard. Those guys are ahead. And the rest of the vacancies may be filled by rookie running backs that are cheap. So there's a strong possibility that even if Jamal went after doing what he did, scoring as many touchdowns as he scored in 2022, even after such an impressive performance in touchdown production, Jamal could go somewhere, or he could hit free agency because he's unrestricted right here. He could hit free agency and what? And probably like Melvin Gordon, even though Jamal had a much better season than Melvin Gordon did when Melvin Gordon left this time last year and didn't find any bites. So he came back and re-signed with Denver, and we all threw our arms up. We could very much see Jamal Williams, even though he's much better than Gordon was, leave, get no bites, get no big offers money-wise because rookies are cheap. They're free. They're practically free. And he comes back to Detroit to get a little bit of a bag, and they're going to pay him because they love him. And then Swift's value tanks again. So I'm not even going to try and predict Jamal leaving. I'm going to leave this up to when it's concrete, solid information on it, and then we can readjust. I'm not trying to beat people to the punch on predicting Jamal to leave and Swift to finally get the job and then bank on Swift. I'm gonna sit back and say I don't care about being first on this one, right? This one I don't need to be if you're first, you're last type of person. I need to be safe. If you're not safe, you're last. Okay? That's the way I feel with DeAndre Swift this year. I'm not rushing to any kind of judgment. I'm waiting and sitting back calm and patient like. Williams has the best post-game interviews he does. I hope Chicago gets Jamal if Monty leaves. I don't know how I feel about that, bro. I'm really hoping they bank on Khalil Herbert. I really want to put Khalil Herbert on the Moon Man list, but I just don't see Chicago not addressing the position in a pretty significant way that's going to very much disappoint us. You know, like I could see if we put our weight behind Khalil Herbert right now and we put him on the Moon Man list. And I've thought about it. I really have thought about it. If we put Khalil Herbert on the Moon Man list, my guess is we only got to pull him off. Like, I'm going to wait until we know after the draft. And my guess is this, too. If we put Khalil Herbert on the Moon Man list after the draft when no one lands in Chicago, I still believe there's a lot of room for upside. I think we won't be, first on pushing it like guesswork. Like, we're going to go ahead and put him on the Moon Man list and totally close our eyes and swing and hope to God they don't draft a RB or bring someone in. And they probably won't bring someone in because they're in rebuild mode. Although they probably think they could maybe win. I would think I could win at any moment. So you don't know what a coach is going to do. But let's say they draft an RB because he's cheap versus sign an RB that will be expensive. And Jamal wouldn't be as expensive as other RBs. Maybe you pay him enough to make him a starter in name, and then a Khalil Herbert shot to the ground. But they could also draft Bigsby, some people's third ranked rookie running back, or one of our 3 or 4 ranked rookie running backs like Charbonnet or Sean Tucker. But the moment if the Bears don't bring in an RB and it's like, oh my God, he escaped free agency, he escaped the NFL draft, and there's no other RB, there will be a lot of people that start talking about Khalil Herbert immediately. And we won't have to feel bad about getting laid in on that either. We played it safe, and we can still come in, and there's so much room for a swing in top 5 to 10 running back numbers. Or let's call it top 7 to 10. He's a top 7 to 10 running back if he's starting by himself. But I just don't get the feeling he will be. I think that brings somebody in. It's going to get cloudy, but he'll still be a good value. Like, here's the other thing too, is let's say they bring in a Bigsby. Let's say they bring in Jamal. There's still opportunity for him to hit the Moon Man list after we know what's what, because now his value gets reset and now he's almost undraftable. Do you think someone's going to want to even draft Khalil Herbert if they bring in Jamal? Probably not, but will we love him as a late handcuff home run swing? Because Jamal is older, kind of unproven. He did it really this year. He's been kind of a pedestrian, change of pace type back, always kind of a backup feel to him. He's never really been a full-time guy. Detroit's kind of unique, the way they run the ball. I don't think that's the same in Chicago. Might be a rude awakening for people that think you can take Jamal and pluck him here and put him over in Chicago and get the same touchdown production. It ain't going to happen. So, in theory, him getting some sort of paper tiger competition might land him on the Moon Man list. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about waiting for the right timing and dropping some of these guys. So, for now, we're going to wait and see on adding Khalil Herbert. But he is on my mind. He's on the front of my mind. I'm constantly thinking about the guy. Adding him to the Moon Man list. Thank you again, Ron, for the super chat. I think I got a couple other super chats. Let me see what they are. Appreciate all your guys' generosity. Austin. Where'd I get Austin? Avi, B. Hall, and Javante. You expecting big bounce backs? Avi, I am of Breece Hall, which is why he is on the Moon Man list, my kind sir. But Javante has a different feel and vibe. Javante, at the moment, this could change, Avi. If it changes, I'm going to produce a video and start telling everybody left and right for weeks straight to make sure the message gets out. You can bet your bottom dollar, Avi. If I feel different, I will tell you immediately. You'll hear it constantly. But right now, my gut tells me the feel I'm getting, the vibe I'm getting, the news that's being reported or not reported in some cases is more important and telling than when news is reported. Like, not hearing anything is bad news sometimes. No news is bad news. Not good news when it comes to this. I think that he's going to have the Barkley and J.K. Dobbins first year bounce back, which is going to be a struggling beginning. He gets through it, and then the next year, if everything's looking good in Denver, then he can get unleashed. But I think Breece Hall, everything we're hearing is what I predicted to be the case. I just had a funny feeling, right? Probably a few months ago, I started touting this. I had a funny feeling that we're going to hear Breece Hall's ahead of schedule. He looks like he's never... Mark my words, we haven't heard this yet. We've heard that part. What I said about that came true. He's ahead of schedule. He's way ahead of schedule. It looks great right now. He's going to totally be ready for camp. Whereas Barkley wasn't ready for week 1, and they shoved him out there, and he struggled. J.K. wasn't ready for week 1. They shoved him out there, and he struggled. We are hearing that Barkley is going to be ready for camp. But my second prediction will come true, I believe. He looks like he never tore his ACL. You will hear... I'm not saying that's 100% true, because you're always going to be more healthy the next year out, 2 years, 1 year removed. So your second year back. But we will hear verbiage from sources and news reports. I'm just telling you what we're going to hear. And for the most part, it's going to be slightly true. Like, you might not be able to tell it's at certain times. But he'll definitely tell you after this season's over that, I struggled, a little bit here and there. I didn't have my explosion like I wanted, but I compensated. And you're going to hear reports say this, though. Mark my words. You're gonna read, he looks like he never tore his ACL. We're gonna hear those words used in reports. And unless he suffers a setback, that's how I feel it's gonna go down. Where's my football? There it is. We're gonna hear that. Can you guys hear the squeaking in my chair? It's the one thing I don't love about this chair. Is it can you hear that? It makes so much noise. And I love the chair though. It's been a great decision. But I do wonder if you can hear that. Dak might get traded now that they fired the OC. Could potentially be the case. And he's got a market. Moonman Rick says you can hear it. How loud is it? I'm going to go back and watch it. 32 minutes in. I'll watch it when I'm done. It's not getting any better, too. It's not like it's wearing in. I think if anything, it's going to get louder and louder. When I move, it's going to be like... But I do believe Breece Hall is going to be an absolute monster. A 6 out of 10, says Moonman Ricky, in terms of the WD-40, Isaac. You don't put that on leather. I don't know if anybody taught you that. You don't rub WD-40 into the leather. It is actually the leather that's making the sound. You can't hear it? Okay, good. Some of you might have surround sound on. I don't know. Maybe on phones you can hear it, or on speakers you can. I don't know. But anyway, back to Breece Hall. The question at hand. Avi, thank you for the super chat. My man, Avi says, Javonte, Breece Hall, do I expect bounce backs? I do out of Breece Hall. Everything we're hearing so far is he's ahead of the game. I believe we hear the next step will be he looks like he never tore his ACL. And like I've said before, it's like when you break your right arm and you're right-handed and you've got your arm in a sling for 6 weeks, whatever it ends up being, 2 months, and you have to use your left hand. And you're not very good at things. Like I flip a pen with my right hand. I flip a pen with my right hand, but I can't do it with my left hand at all, right? I break my arm. All of a sudden now I can learn how to do that with my left hand, which I can't do really good with my left hand. You start doing different things, learning different things. I get my right arm back. Guess what? Now I'm just better for it, So like part of me thinks if Breece Hall at such a young age where you can recover from an ACL tear at 21, almost like it's nothing. Not the first year back. I'm not saying things don't have to go perfect for him. And Javonte's still young too, but he had a more serious injury. But when you're 21 years old, you're 20, 21, 19, 20, 21, when usually college players tear their ACL at 19, 20, and you don't even know it. You don't even hear. Dalvin Cook tore his ACL in college. You didn't know that, Priest Holmes tore his ACL before he became one of the best running backs in the National Football League and ever in fantasy football. A lot of people don't know Priest Holmes tore his ACL before he became a monster. You're young, you recover like that. It's crazy. 21 and 24 are like night and day. Think of it like dog years, It's like tearing your ACL at 21. It's like dog years. 24 is a lifetime different than being 21 for an RB in terms of healing an ACL recovery or really any injury. It's like night and day. It's not close. People often say, 24 is close. It's not. It's not, because 24 in dog years, in running back years, call running back years times, 3. That's how old this man's body feels when he tears an ACL, 24 versus 21. So I just have a funny feeling this guy's going to come back on a tear. And I have a funny feeling that we're going to see him get smarter and be able to, my whole point in saying when you break your right arm and you learn how to use your left is that maybe he doesn't have the explosion, is what I got off on a tangent. Maybe he doesn't have his explosion that he would have had he not tore his ACL. Maybe he slows down. Maybe his vision improves, because guess what? He's a little bit less explosive. His vision improves. Maybe his pass catching skills improve. Maybe he works on pass protection. Maybe he studies the playbook more than he ever would have. I just have a funny feeling Breece Hall doesn't skate by on this, but it's much smoother than we could possibly anticipate. And he's literally the youngest running back that has reached top 1 to 5 running back stature that has torn their ACL. Usually it's in year 2, 3, 4, 5, that we see an elite running back tear their ACL, a little bit of wear and tear first, then they tear it. We haven't really seen a rookie that I can recall. Somebody correct me and I might be like, oh yeah, you're right. But a rookie that has climbed into our number one overall running back. Like, he was on his way to being RB 1 or 2. You could call Christian McCaffrey 1, and Breece Hall would be chasing him as the number 2 2022, not just rookie, 2022 RB. He was on his way to chasing CMC and competing with him. We've never seen an RB as a rookie produce top 2 running back numbers at that, like right when he got hurt, he was at that level, have an ACL tear. So this is an interesting age because he's so ultra young and so ultra talented. The combination's never been seen that I can recall at that exact age for a long time, at least. Priest Holmes, like I said, tore his ACL right at the beginning, I believe, coming into the NFL. I forget if he tore it his first year. I believe he did, if I remember correctly. Tore it his first year, rehabbed in Baltimore, and then headed to KC, I believe is what it was. If I remember correctly, Priest Holmes was phenomenal. Just one of the best fantasy football running backs of all time, ever will be. My 2 favorite players no longer playing are Priest Holmes and Kurt Warner. Those are my 2 favorite fantasy football players of all time. Burrow is up there now. Bijan could climb there very quickly. I love Bijan so much. But Burrow and Walker and Breece Hall are probably my 3 favorite current players in the NFL and in fantasy football, just in general. What's up, Roger? Appreciate you. Let's open the phone line, see how you all feel about Pickens.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show and let's see what you all are thinking about this man that goes by George Pickens, the Moon Man. What are your thoughts? Pickens. Is he worthy of being a Moon Man extraordinaire? Very curious to know what you all think about this man. Georgie Boy Pickens, Moon Man extraordinaire.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
Space Monsters.
Lev Bell, my favorite fantasy player ever so far, says Avi. Blind Larry agrees. JT, says Anthony. I don't know if you're going to find a lot of JT fans in here right now, bro. It's a little too early. Too early to run that one out there. People are so mad at that guy. And I agree. Pickens is, here comes Ron. Ron's so excited. Ron, happy George Pickens Day, pal.
To the moon.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, buddy.
I told you
know how I feel about it.
I told you to be patient. I have a method to my madness. He was at no risk of changing value, and I did waver a little bit of it as like I got to fit a certain number of players in. So I admit, like I'm still like every time I'm not 100% sure. I'm going with the flow of my gut. But I mean, it's more of like I didn't rush to this decision with him because it's the rookies I'm worried about, all these young players, and also one reason why these moon men right here.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
A lot of the reason why they're all on here is because of timing. So like
Space Monsters.
Bijan, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Tucker. Obviously, with the rookie content coming, people are going to start hyping them up. I wanted that hype to be out there earlier. Breece Hall news, more and more news is going to break about how good he's doing, and I want this to be up here ahead of time. As for the remaining players on here, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Watson, the three wide receivers on here, their situations are all very subject to change very quickly, with Garrett Wilson maybe getting Aaron Rodgers, Watson maybe retaining Rodgers or losing Rodgers, Olave maybe gets Derek Carr or something like that, and then the Dolphin situation will solve itself very, very rapidly. So Pickens didn't have any kind of risk or change or reason to like think that he was going to get overhyped between now and when I released him. So that's kind of one reason why. And there's another player that's going to get rushed out there really quick. It's probably the biggest name player that will be on the board, other than Breece Hall being, to me, Breece Hall is the biggest name on the board, but I know that I live in a different world than other people. But this guy is going to be the biggest household name that's hit the Moon Man list this year. And I'm going to run it out there because I'm afraid it's going to have some altering value news-wise. So look for that. That'll probably be the next one.
Is it, let me guess, it's more of a veteran player?
Can't say.
Just by that going, I think it's going to be more of a veteran player. That's my guess.
Maybe. So, everybody, what's everybody thinking on Pickens? Ron, explain to me why you love Pickens. Give me some, some tangible things.
Just how easily, he catches the ball, especially along the sidelines, and his footwork is just unmatched. I mean, he keeps his feet in. By millimeters. He keeps doing it, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, if he was able to do that this first year and not have Pickett in there at the beginning, have to, use Trubisky and go through all that, and then to grow with Pickett after this year, I think it was really important. I think next year you're really going to see those two have a chemistry together that's, going to be unmatched. I mean, I really believe that. I think they're going to be the next big combo.
Yeah,
I think Pickett continues to get better and better, and Pickens will just going to thrive from that because Pickens has all the talent.
So I'm going to push back on part of what you're saying. I don't know that they're going to become the big duo, but I think he will. He will become what you're saying. I believe that part of it. I don't know about Pickett yet. I'm not saying you're going to be wrong. I'm just not ready. I haven't seen enough from him to feel like he's going to be like some kind of top 7 or 8 or 9 quarterback. I think big duo, they'd have to be coined that. Pickett would have to really step it up and be huge. And he could. And Ron, we could be back here going, Ron, you were right about Pickett. Good Lord, Ron. So don't think I don't feel like there's wiggle room. But
don't get me wrong. Everybody knows I'm biased toward the Steelers anyways, but I'm not looking at Pickett jumping right up in the top 10 quarterbacks by any means in his second year, but I think he could easily be in the top, 15 easy, if he keeps improving like he did this rookie year. I think he can be in the top 15. Obviously, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And of course, what I mean by their chemistry is you're gonna have Pickett looking at Pickens a lot more and giving him more volume than he had this year, and that's gonna put Pickens right. I think Pickens easily next year, double-digit touchdowns easily.
You know what I think? Yeah, I do too. You know what I think about him when I watch him on film? Like when I pull up YouTube footage, if anybody didn't really watch him much last year, I see a veteran route runner. I see a guy that runs very crisp routes. Like they're so crispy, man. They look like they're not just they're. It's kind of like when you. I don't want to say this the wrong way because people are gonna like just take it and think I'm saying what I'm not saying. When you watch a guy like JJ or Adams run a route, they're so clean, and you sit there and your jaw drops. You're like, that's such a clean route from the arm movement and like the way they stutter step, the way they complete the stutter and then change directions and just like it's not sloppy at all. There's a lot of wide receivers that run a really sloppy 7-yard out or something. Like Pickens, yeah. It looks like he's taking pride. It looks like he's trying to win an award for clean route running. And it's like, it's something that just stands out to me when I watch him. And this is why I don't know if you saw the beginning, Ron, when I played that video that I posted before week 1, but I was like, this is the number 1 wide receiver. And I could see it even then, like just the crisp route running that he deployed from day 1. And the craziest part is, like, let's say he catches the ball. Most wide receivers, even veterans, will just take it upfield as far as they're allowed to go, and then they get tackled. This guy's like, he knows where the sticks are. He knows exactly, like, it's almost like the best way I could describe it. He seems like a well-prepared researcher. He's got the playbook down. He knows where the sticks are before the ball is snapped instead of running a route, catching the ball, and I have no idea where the first down marker is. Like this guy, he knows everything. He's prepared. And so he catches the ball and watch his YouTube footage, guys. I promise you, you're going to be like, holy crap. I do kind of sense that there's a weird like maturity about his route running and his mental awareness and state of like spatial awareness. So he'll grab the ball, literally get 3 or 4 yards upfield, and do some sort of like spin move to get the extra yard that is the first down marker. Like it's unbelievable the way he toe taps out of bounds, extends the ball, because a lot of wide receivers, they have the ball in the right arm and they toe tap and they go out of bounds and they spot it where the ball goes out of bounds. He's smart enough to know he'll toe tap and literally be an 8-yard reception, and somehow, some way, he'll lean his body this way and then reach the ball out and get 10 yards instead of 8. It's like, you just watch him. You're like, this guy's so prepared. Every snap, he's so prepared. And I love the crispiness of this man's route running. Smooth.
His feet always, 9 times out of 10, he's going to have his feet. It doesn't matter how close he is to the sideline or not. He's going to come down in bounds. He always is aware of where his feet are landing.
Yeah. It's preparedness. The guy knows. The guy knows where the chalk is. He knows where the sticks are. He knows where the defender is. He knows how to use his body, and it's just so impressive to see him get 10 yards when any other wide receiver except for the big dogs, and that's why I consider him a big dog route runner and footwork person already. Another wide receiver. Even a top 15 to 20 wide receiver. Let's call like I don't know, trying to throw out a name without being disrespectful. Just picture someone around 15, a really good wide receiver in the NFL, top 15 guy, 15, 16, 17, somewhere around that range. This guy, when he catches the ball, he's outperforming those guys play for play, and it comes down to volume. It comes down to volume. Every time I watch any footage on him, every single reception, it's like the guy is trying to get a 9 or a 10 card from if you just imagine judges on the sideline going 9 out of 10, 9.5, 10 out of 10 for route running. Okay, let's judge him on his awareness of where the first down marker is. 10 out of 10. It's like it's just unbelievable. That's when I watch him, I just think he's winning awards on every catch. It's crazy. It comes down to volume. My concern is Pickett. I know you like Pickett. I like him. I don't love him yet, and I don't know that I will. But I like him enough to say this guy right here, 800 yards as a rookie. Where's his stats? Let me pull his stats up one more time. 800 yards as a rookie, 4 touchdowns. Didn't get going until when was it that Pickett got into the lineup, Ron? I know you were pissed off for weeks and weeks and weeks. So it had to have been like
it was like the 5th or 6th game, or later than that. Wasn't right away. It was God, what week was that?
Yeah, let me pull up his game log.
Might
So
have been fifth or sixth game.
Yeah. I mean, he got 7 targets in week 3. He wasn't really used in week 1 and 2. So throw those weeks out.
He had to go through this growing year, and you had to see what he was made of, and his competitiveness, just competitiveness alone, it's kind of like you would see like a Brett Favre type competitiveness that he has in him. So, and Brett Favre wasn't the most accurate passer ever. He could throw the ball like hard as heck, and but sometimes the ball would get away from him. But he wasn't a finesse quarterback. But his competitiveness just took him to the next level, and I see that in Pickens. And I think he's going to do well, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh actually has a chance to make the playoffs next year. They're going to look a lot better, I think. Deontay can't catch the ball, so you hardly see Pickens drop the ball. That's one great thing. Pickens you hardly ever see him miss a pass, where Deontay, he's always missing passes.
Yeah. I like him a lot. And some are saying his college numbers aren't huge, but you what?
A couple people in the chat, they say I'd take Kirk over Pickens, and you know me, Smitty. I love Kirk. I love Christian Kirk, right? I from the very beginning of the year, I was a pro Christian Kirk guy. But you got to remember, and Kirk has a lot of talent. I think Pickens is going to be better overall than Kirk, but you got to remember, Kirk next year, Ridley comes back. How will that affect Kirk and his production? Kirk and the other guys that are receiving on Jacksonville. When Ridley comes back, how's that going to affect their volume and productivity?
Yeah. People are wondering. Some of the comments said in the chat saying, "Why was Pickens never great in college if he was so good?" But people need to remember that he had a quarterback carousel in college in 2020, I believe it was, and then he also in like the spring of 2021 tore his ACL. So
yeah, he was injured.
Yeah, people need to realize like there's a reason why there was there's a stigma around him during the draft and why he slipped. He was a first round scouted wide receiver, but the injury pretty much wiped him out of the first round value on everybody's board. Like initially going into the draft, it was like, oh my god, how late's Pickens gonna fall? Will he recover? We haven't really seen him recover yet, so it's like, what are you getting? And that's why he fell. But it was revolving quarterbacks in college, and it was a torn ACL. So people had to draft him off spec. They had to draft him off of, the stats weren't ever there for him each year because of the two things: revolving quarterbacks, torn ACL, back-to-back years of just not really his fault. And so you did have to pump the brakes on liking him as a rookie, and then when we saw what he was capable of, it's like game on,
Yeah, well, I mean, look, you can't. Well, it's just not that either. Look at who the other receivers were on the team in college. So it wasn't just George Pickens wasn't the only the only good receiver on that team. There was other receivers on that team also that are highly talented.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how he evolves, but I really, really, really like this kid and his raw intangibles that are hard to teach somebody, and he's doing them without being taught. So like they're innate, they're built into this guy's game and drive. So this, I promise you, if anybody doesn't really know, they don't remember, or you didn't own them, so you just didn't really watch a lot of them, or if you just have questions at all and you forgot how he looked, YouTube is his highlights from last year, and just take special note of every play you're seeing. It's phenomenally run, the route, his mechanics, his arm movement, his stutter and stopping, his commitment to the route. There's just stuff you don't see with a rookie. When you see a rookie this evolved, you think to yourself, okay, if he gets the ball, he's going to explode. And if he gets the ball the right way is the part that I'm worried about, because like if Pickett went down, what would happen? But also in Tomlin offenses, Big Ben was a big reason why, certain wide receivers like Deontay Johnson and before him Antonio Brown got laser locked on and peppered with overwhelmingly like league leading targets, where it was like, okay, whoever Big Ben's wide receiver is going to like lead the league and have a chance of leading the league in receptions. It's that crazy of a laser lock but some of it's Tomlin's offense, So I feel like it's no coincidence that Deontay got peppered, and then I feel like it's no coincidence that Pickens is getting targeted a ton when Pickett's in there. So I think there's a chance for Pickett to see a similar like overdose of targets, man.
Right. Yeah. I think he's just going to get better and better. I think his second year is just gonna. If people don't believe in him right now, I think this next coming year they're gonna really start believing in him, and he's gonna get to the point where he's gonna win people some leagues.
Tony
he's gonna be one of those receivers.
Tony disapproves of this Moon Man. That's fine, Tony. That's fine. I played it earlier where the disapproval started last year when I said this guy would be the number one wide receiver. Ron loved him too. Andrew says, is Pickens a Moon Man because of Ron Navy's influence? No. Bro, when do I ever let anybody influence what I'm going to say, bro?
That's for dang sure.
I mean,
come
on.
That's for dang sure that's not my influence, because I can't tell Smitty never listens to hardly anything I say unless Smitty agrees with anything that I say initially. I can't change his mind.
Ron's been complaining about why he's not on this list for a while now, so like, of course it's not influenced by it. But here, again, I showed this at the beginning. I won't show the whole thing, but this was well before week 1, bro.
The best wide receiver on the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is George Pickens.
And this, like, slew 24 weeks ago, comments 24 weeks ago. You can see the 24 weeks there, 23 weeks ago, where there's all these people saying I'm about one post away from being a Beetlejuice meme. One guy says I'm degrading the value of my page. So I don't know, you probably missed that, but this has been in the works since the last offseason, but it's been a waiting game for me because, like I said, the other movement are more of an urgent, I need to get the word out on them because they're rookies, they're younger guys, their values are about to change, they're about to get quarterbacks, lose quarterbacks. Pickens' situation is not changing, so he's been one of the easier movement to like ignore for a while. I'd rather have JSN. Just be patient.
It's kind of funny
because I'm coming around to that.
Tony, if you look at both Pickens and London's stats, they're almost spot on identical, from both having 4 touchdowns, both having over 800 yards. Actually, Pickens has a little bit better average yardage average than London does, but they're both very good wide receivers. I have nothing against. I mean, if Smitty decided to put London on there, I wouldn't have anything against London being on there too, because I think he's deserving also. I think so many of these rookie receivers last year that are going in, into their second year, they're a lot of them deserve to be on the Moon Man's list.
Yeah.
Because they're just that good. It's one of the better classes to come out of wide receivers in a long time.
Yeah. And I know everybody wants JSN on now. Just be patient. Be patient. Like I told Ron Navy when he wanted to pick it on here, I said be patient. Pickett threw way more. Where would you pick Pickens and London? I think London and Pickens will go in similar spots probably, but it all depends on the quarterback situation for London. If it remains Ritter, then London's going to get overlooked in redraft. I think people still love him in Dynasty. I think London could very well make the Moon Man list still. I'm not going to just stop putting sophomore wide receivers on if I feel they are the changing of the guard. I mean, the way the Moon Man list is designed right here.
The Moon Men.
It's
dropping loads in outer space.
It's not like there's a rhyme and a reason to it. It's a changing of the guard. And if you look at rankings, you'll notice that there's so many players about to fall off. These are the guys slipping in. It's sophomores, it's rookies. And these particular sophomores and rookies, there's rhyme and reason to it. And the sophomore wide receivers are just that good. And JSN's that good. JSN can most certainly be on it. If we're talking Dynasty especially. But hang tight. JSN may be on the way. He may or may not be the next one. But you what?
Hopefully you'll be able to get these guys in 6th, 7th, or 8th round come drafting season. Hopefully they'll drop that far in the draft. I mean, there'll probably be a few that go up in the 5th round, but you're not talking to any of these guys in the top 3 rounds or 4 rounds probably either. Because you got your elite wide receivers and your elite you got your running backs and all that. They're going to 2 rounds.
Hold on, we got Roger. We got Roger on the CB. Hang on, Roger. This is Smitty. Go.
What's up,
Roger? What's up? Over.
I'm just so excited about this draft, man. I want your feelings about what do you think about this draft's going to be?
I'm sorry, say that one more time over. I didn't catch it. What are stats going to be? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was wondering if you think that this is the best draft class ever.
Best draft class ever? No. I think this current draft class is going to be good. I think the last 3 are just replacing all the big dogs, one after the other, bro. Changing of the guard. I'm not gonna stop saying it. It really is. But like JSN, Bijan, Charbonnet, and Jahmyr Gibbs, and maybe Sean Tucker if he falls in the right spot. Mixing those guys into the sophomore wide receiver class with Walker, with Breece Hall. With so many other names, but then all the young quarterbacks, the top 4 quarterbacks, the top 5 quarterbacks are all super young. Kyle Pitts will eventually climb into the number 1 tight end spot. I firmly believe that. He just needs a quarterback. Bro, these last 3 rookies, like the rookies are getting better and better every year. Players are training earlier at a younger age, getting better at a younger age, and they're just coming in so NFL ready. It's crazy. They're just
I just think this year's draft's going to be crazy, man. I mean, I see so much value everywhere. I like Bryce Young. I mean, he's going to be a beast.
Bryce Young, I agree. Over. Hey,
and
Rod.
As far as Pickens goes, Pickens is going to be all right, but the quarterback situation scares me. I mean, I don't know. I love Pickens' talent, but I don't know about the quarterback,
Yeah, I think that is my one concern. I know Ron's not concerned about Pickens at all, Pickett at all. But I think Pickett is good enough. He showed enough promise to me that I think Pickens can certainly live on the volume that Pickett is going to feed him. And they've got a great rapport.
So you're not worried about the quarterback?
No, I mean, I don't love him individually. Like, I'm not putting him into any of my fantasy rosters at all. Like, I'm not even comfortable with him as my backup necessarily because there's so many other quarterbacks that I'm going to bank on. It doesn't mean he couldn't be top 15, which would be a backup, which would be a very good backup in a sense. But I just think there's enough footballs to go around that he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He did such a good job his rookie year, and he wasn't even really fully unleashed until a little bit into the season. Wasn't like he was ready to rumble in week 1, 2, or 3. I think 1,200 or 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns is certainly in the cards for Pickens.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's strong.
I mean, he had 800 and he had 805 total touchdowns as a rookie. I don't think it's that crazy, but it's not everybody. Not everybody's gonna like him.
Yeah, I'm not. I love his talent. I just don't see the quarterback situation. It's kind of
could be worse, Roger. Could be worse, Roger.
But yeah.
Pickett fine. Pickett will be fine. All he's going to do is improve and get better.
Anything else, Roger? Over.
No, that's fine. I appreciate you, Smitty. You're my man.
I appreciate you. I hope you don't mind me making fun of the quality of the call. It's become a fan favorite. It's become a fan favorite. I think if you changed your phone, people would be upset. So you continue being you. You're one of one, Roger. You're one of one, and we appreciate you.
All right, man. Later.
Roger, what do you do if you don't mind me asking? You don't happen to be a truck driver, are you? That'd be amazing. Roger left. Wouldn't that be awesome if he was a truck driver on top of it? He really does handle a CB all day long. Roger, in the chat, can you tell me what you don't tell me where you work? We don't need that. We don't need you to call yourself out. But what line of work do you do, Roger? I'm dying to know. We love Roger. I hope Roger doesn't think I'm making fun of him. I absolutely love. Roger's becoming a fan favorite. He really is. When Roger calls, people say, "Where's the guy that sounds like he's eating his phone?" People love the guy. They can't wait for him to call in. Roger, let us know what you do for a living, bro. Judy.
I mean, this is the fun about it, isn't it? It's fun because not everybody's going to agree with everything, and we're all going to have different takes on different players. And then when the season starts and they start playing, you get to see the cream of the crop rise, and you get to see who faltered or whatever. And that's all the fun of it.
Roger says parts. What's that mean? Parts of what?
Parts. He could work in a parts store like
auto.
Yeah, auto, or maybe he works at a dealership and
I picture him with a CB radio.
He runs the parts shop or something,
Parts.
Who knows?
Now I got a parts guy. I wonder if I could call up Roger and be like, Roger, my car's sounding like this. Roger's like, that's a belt, bro. That's a belt. That's a loose belt. Or I could tell that's probably what he means. Mechanic, probably, yeah. Mechanic. Over and out, Roger. I love Roger. Roger, I'm coming to you, bro. I'm coming to you when I got vehicle problems. Someone said body parts.
He probably lives in Massachusetts, so you'll have a long drive.
Body part. He's a smooth operator. Imagine Roger runs the biggest chop shop in the U.S. He probably does, bro. Judy, I'm not huge on Judy. I like Judy's talent, but I mean, I didn't feel any sort of consistency on Judy last year. Like I didn't. And I don't know until I see it.
I think
You what?
I think Judy would be better with a different quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, coaching, all that. I'm real hopeful.
Yep.
That we see.
It's a situation thing. I don't think he's in the right situation.
Yeah. Did Roger respond? Mechanic. Okay, Roger's a mechanic. That's awesome. That's a great skill, man. There's nothing better than like being able to fix a car, bro. So many people can't do anything with a car. You lift a hood, they wouldn't even know what to do.
Either that, or do your own electrical, or do your own plumbing. For your house stuff. Those are professions.
I bet you everybody asked Roger to fix their car, though. Hey Roger, poor Roger. That's why Roger doesn't fix his phone, because he wants to be like, you're cutting out, you're breaking up, I can't hear you, Aunt Edna. Can you fix my car, Roger? I can't hear you. It's getting really fuzzy. I'm losing you. Because I bet you everyone and their mother goes to this man and they ask him, hey, can you work on my parts, Roger? Roger's the man. That's why he'll be a steal. Russell Wilson won't suck as bad last year. I don't know. I'm just a wait and see with Judy. I'm a wait and see with Swift. I'm a wait and see with Judy. I'm gonna wait and see with a whole bunch of players that just I don't care about being the guy that reinvested in one finally. I'm just gonna wait and sit back until I feel comfortable. There's certain players that are just in my no-go zone.
There was so much big hype on Denver preseason, and I wasn't buying any of it. I didn't like Denver from the get-go because I've never been a Russell Wilson fan.
Ada says, I designed the cars Roger works on. Well, I guess what are you doing then, bro? Why are they breaking, Ada? Why is Roger even needed? That's my question to you, Ada. Not a lot of attaboys getting delivered out there in your world when Roger's busy.
So Ada's saying that he has bad designs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I meant it to sound funny, attaboy. Najee, you don't think I know my own play on words, Ada? All right. So anyway, that's all I have for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Ron, I'm glad you finally got a Moon Man that you approve.
Well, I approve a lot of the Moon Man. I think the one that the one that really got me last year that I didn't approve of was Swift.
Yeah.
That's
the
that's
talent
one yet on the last year.
After week 1, you did come to me and say, Smitty, you were right on Swift. And as soon as you said that, bro got, he was injured, and then we didn't know how long he'd be injured. He fell apart the moment you said, I like him. But you were right all off season. About him. You know what kind of burns me is he was one of my biggest avoids the year prior. And I said he'd never stay healthy. I said he'd never stay healthy, and for whatever reason, I started to really get on board during the offseason. I watched a lot of film on him, and I was like, this guy's so talented. And so I said, you know what? I'm throwing injury concern to the wind on this one, and I should have trusted his rookie season. I should have trusted my gut on that, because I did have a big feeling he wasn't going to stay healthy, and I changed my mind. I don't know.
Hey, I hand it to you. It was ride and die, and you rode and died with him the whole year. I mean, you were behind. You backed him the whole way
because he has the talent, and the Lions could have gave it to him, and they didn't. And so that's the biggest red flag with me. I'm not touching him until like Jamal's gone, and even then, because Jamal's a free agent, so we got to see what happens. Does he come back home after a very sad, free agency tour, and nobody wants him? And plus, he loves being there. He loves being there. He'll take a hometown discount because he loves Detroit, bro. He loves it. He's been rejected. Jamal's like one of those funny guys when you interview him, but you know there's some like hurt and some truth to what he says. But he's like, everybody rejects him, and like he's talked about it before. And Detroit took him in, and similar to Gino's loyalty, he's like almost unfound loyalty. Gino would take a massive pay cut to stay in Seattle because he's so loyal to that situation and Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I think Jamal could take a hometown discount, and like then I'm out. I'm completely out. I'm completely out on Swift. But if he's the lone running back there, and they draft some like kind of unknown rookie, whatever, it just depends on the cost of entry. He burned us so bad last year. How do you come back from that?
Yeah, I took him in best ball a few times just to have him on the roster, but I stay away from him mostly.
Roger says, I love the Graveyard Crew. Over. Roger, it loves you back, pal. Appreciate you. I hope we're blasting in Roger's, shop. He's got the fantasy football show just blaring in the shop, and all of his buddies.
We have the best Graveyard Crew. You're going to have to bring up the gravestones again now that the season's winding down and all that. You have to bring up the gravestones again.
I don't know if you've seen this, but I have this for the high super chats of the year and for the all-time. Ron Navy 765. Rob is the current leader at 100. So also got all the other previous leaders down there below. But on the I haven't done a good job of keeping it at the top of the the show. So like what I did is I decided to move its permanent spot is whenever we're doing phone calls, or traditionally when we do phone calls, I have it right here on the screen. So this screen will have the biggest super chat of all time, which is Ron Navy's at 765, until someone someday knocks that off. Almost feels like it's going to be as rare as, somebody knocking off Tom Brady for Super Bowl rings. It's that big of a number. And then we've got the high super chat of the 2023 season. Currently it's Bob with $99. So that'll always stay there, and this will be the main phone call screen. In fact, I got to copy this over to the other screen that I was using just to make sure that it's always on screen here. So let me drop this all here. Hold on.
Somebody's going to knock me off. Guaranteed somebody's going to knock me off for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll put that right. I'll figure it out. But these will always remain on the phone call screen. And if anybody wants, this year we're going to do anybody drops a $20 hauler. I might have to change it once we get to like August because we might get out of control, hopefully. And that's a good problem to have for me. I'm not complaining. But anybody that wants a full team breakdown at this point in the offseason, you drop a $20 hauler, I'll put you on the board. We'll break it down. We'll do it live. All right, Ron, appreciate you, man.
Hey, appreciate you too, Smitty. Thanks for letting me call in and take part in the happiness that I'm feeling for
Pickens.
For George, my man, Moonman Pickens.
Moonman Pickens. Moonman Pickens.
I love it.
All right, broski.
All right. Well,
take it easy. Later.
All right, bye.
All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna call it a night. I appreciate you all. Roger, you're the man. What other super chats did we have tonight? Let me pull them up. Super chats. Avi, thank you. Avi, thank you. Ron, you guys are both the top super chatters of the day, of the night. And I will see you all tomorrow. I'll probably be live tomorrow at 7. Well, I know I'll be live tomorrow at 7 p.m. like always. Because I'm live whenever news breaks. I'm live at 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. I'm live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So tomorrow's going to be at least a 2 live stream day. The midnight show and the 7 p.m. show, which are very close together. But I may, I'm not positive, but I may drop another live stream if there's breaking news, of course. But if not, it will be at least a premiere, I would assume, on the top 10 wide receivers for 2023 part 2. Part 1 is already up on my channel. You can go watch it. Just look for the thumbnail and the title that says Top 10 Wide Receivers, Part 1. And it was Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Cooper Kupp. And so Part 2 will probably contain, I would say, 3 or 4 wide receivers. And then Part 3 will be the remainder. Also, exciting news. Your boy Smitty has episode number 5 of the Fantasy Football Intern sitcom. That's going to be released here shortly. I don't know if it'll be within a week or two or less. I don't know. I'm still working on a lot of the edits of it. For those that don't know, we have a sitcom. The Fantasy Football Show has a sitcom. It's like The League meets The Office meets something that got canceled, and it's so amazing. And when you watch it, I really believe it is very, very funny. But it is a sitcom. 4 episodes have been produced so far. It's on the main channel. All you got to do is go to the main channel, my main channel, the homepage. So you're watching it right now. Go to the homepage, scroll down about midway, and you'll see 4 graphics that are clear as day, a sitcom. It says episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4. It has Grant. It has Tom on it. It has my mom on one of the graphics. Clear as day. But go check out those 4 episodes of the Fantasy Football Intern, and get ready for episode 5 dropping very, very soon. Episode 4, Grant quit. Grant quit the show, the Fantasy Football Show, as an intern, and he may be back in episode 5. So get ready for it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.
Get Charbonnet. Pop open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
Peace out, everybody.
The stack above all stacks. It's time to drop the pancake emojis in the live chat.
And Andrew, new Dynasty content coming. I know I keep promising a everyday show. We're getting there. I'm just trying to get a lot of things sorted with the playoffs. I could keep saying we're going to do it this week, but it's probably there's gonna be 2 or 3 shows this week. It's probably gonna be next week without any football that week, when I think we start going daily. So expect a Dynasty show midday tomorrow, a live stream. So get ready. Appreciate you all. Ian, Travis, Ada, Hold Up, Ron, Echo, Ron Navy, Andrew Clark, Anthony. Appreciate you. Terry Roberts, if he's still here. Roger, over out. Ben. Peace out, everybody. Peanut Butter. Tony, HGH. Blind Larry. Crackshot. Jerry. Moonman Rick. Mr. TD. It's nice to see all you guys in here. Moonman Rick, appreciate you. Luke, Max, Maxi Boy, Sam, Joe. Already said Blind Larry. My boy Blind Larry. Blind Larry called in and was dropping some fire earlier on the other show. James, appreciate you. Luke, all of you. All of you. I work for you. My IG is The Fantasy Football Show. My guy. Same as the YouTube handle. YouTube.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Instagram.com/The Fantasy Football Show. Or you just type in The Fantasy Football Show on Instagram. Blind Larry, you got to get on my IG, bro. My IG's like loads of laughs and fun, bro. Especially the live streams that I do. Ron Navy dropping one more super chat. Blind Larry wants to know your IG. Here it is, Blind Larry. The Fantasy Football Show. Just like the sign. Go get some, Blind Larry. Appreciate you.
You know,